Episode 91. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got a special episode, throwback episode with Fantastic Four from the 80s. Let's check it out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we talk about movies and television shows and comics, and particularly these comics, and if they'd make good film and television shows. How's the plotting, etc., especially back in the 80s. What was it like? And we're going to jump into that. But before we do, remember to give me a like and a subscribe. That's it. Give me a thumbs up. And ring that little bell so that you can know when I launch new videos, which is almost daily. And and if you're looking for anything that I've written, I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. Again, my name is Frank Zanca. And I'm on Amazon if you want to check out any of my novels or graphic novels. There's plenty up there. And also, if you want to check out the link in the description below, that has my newest graphic novel, Lords of L.A. We were recently successful on Kickstarter. And again, it is my vampire mob set in 1950s called Lords of L.A. And now we're just doing late pledge, so if you want to jump in on that, you can get issue 1 and issue 2. I only have like 6 pages of art to do for the last issue, and then I'll be releasing that. They're 48 pages each, but we'll jump in that at the end of this video. So in the meantime, let's jump in. This is the end of John Byrne's run. He didn't write either one of these. They're written by Roger Stern and art by Jerry Ordway. So again, this is 1986 when this is released, and you can see that the price on them is 75 cents. Why can't we bring those days back again? Now they're $5. So they've gone up over 500% since the 80s. Imagine that, that inflation. That's crazy. In my lifetime, comics have gone up from 20 or 25 cents to $5. Gas has gone up. Let's say the cheapest I remember is like $1. I always think I was in college at $1 because I started driving late. But $1 to, in LA, it's upwards of $5. Here it's over $3, so it's gone up 3 times in my lifetime. Crazy talk. And in fact, if you want to talk about some of the hotels, like Super 8, used to be $8 a night. That's why they called it that. But anyway, let's jump into this, and because I wanted to do all these together, because obviously in the 80s there were a mentality of fear of World War III. It was during the period of time of our Cold War with Russia, and I guess these particular writers, or this particular writer, no, because this was plotted by John Byrne, and the other one was plotted by Roger Stern, the regular writer. So these particular writers obviously were very afraid of World War III. So it's a sign of the times, because these are literally back to back. So I have these 2 parts are 294 and 295, and then 302. So I actually jump, but within not even 10 issues, it has the same plot line. So it's very interesting. So this one here, again, we have Sue has her short hair here, which I am not a fan of, and this is Wyatt Winkfoot, I think, and She-Hulk has disappeared, and he's dating She-Hulk right now, and She-Hulk has taken the position of the Thing, so the Thing is not part of the Fantastic Four. She-Hulk is, and I really kind of like that. And I know people disagree with me. Even one of my best friends disagrees. I think that maybe they should have used She-Hulk in the new Fantastic Four movie, and It might have kind of mixed things up a little bit, but again, the Fantastic Four movie is going to be crap anyway. But we'll talk about that at the end of this also. But so Iron Man went in there, and that's back when we had the red and silver armor. And he came back out, and he was kind of messed up. And I guess there's Tigra there, because I think that was part of the West Coast Avengers at the time. But anyway, so She-Hulk puts her arm in there, and she gets sucked in, and she's gone. So they're like, what's going on? We have to go in there and find her, etc. And they do. They go in, but of course, Reed wants to, have at least to know what's going on. But inside, they find like a monument to themselves. And they're like, what is going on? So I thought that was kind of cool. They have no idea what's going on, so they're trying, it's like a little mystery. It's almost like this whole civilization inside this dome that has appeared. So, again, they're trying to figure this out, and Johnny gets hit. And then you see almost like this creature that would be like the Thing come out. They're kind of helmeted and stuff to that effect. But they end up finding out that all the people here have powers like them. So we have, super strong, kind of like the Thing. We have some flame guys that are like Johnny. See, there's the flame stuff. And then we have other creatures here that are like Sue, etc. I don't think I see anybody that stretches. But anyway, they end up fighting all these people that are the residents of this city. And yeah, tug a little tug of war there with Reed. That's not fun. He's getting smacked in the head, and there's the creatures down the bottom that have the power like Sue does. So anyway, this woman comes up who's kind of playing like the emissary. And the whole Fantastic Four is captured. Dun dun dun! What? No way! They're captured! What are we gonna do? So she says, "Oh, you guys are the ones we've been." And there's like the old, like the old Kirby style Fantastic Four. You are the chosen ones, etc. The ones that we pray to, you are like the gods, and suddenly now they're throwing ticker tape parades for them. So I guess it was meant that they would eventually come back or, visit the city, etc. And they're all confused by it. We have no idea what's going on right now. So, they tell them the story that there's, the person that made their city, knew them, and idolized them, etc. But anyway, see, look at the thing there. Sorry, I hit that. Nuclear arms packed with Soviet scrapped. So whatever the nuclear arms race, they refused to scrap the making of them. So this dude made an entire, thing to dome a particular part of the city, and time would go slower inside, while outside everything would go faster. Okay, so that's the basis for this professor here. The creation of this dome was that everything inside the dome would be protected from a nuclear disaster, and he figured by slowing time down inside, that outside they destroy themselves, and then he'd pull the dome down, and the world would be gone, but they would still be alive inside. Then they can start rebuilding. That was his plan. It didn't work out that way because what they realized was that time inside was going at a super quick rate as opposed to outside. So that I felt, oh my God, what if She-Hulk's been in there for like a week or so? Is she like old now? I don't know. So there's what the guy looks like. So they have him like on this bedding, and he has this weird looking helmet on that only you could make in the 80s. Man, you make that pink helmet look good. You even got the geriatric glasses on. So he's like, Mr. Fantastic, I guess they were friends in the scientific field. And he's like, no, you got it wrong. You messed up your calculations, and now everything inside is going fast. Everything outside is going slow. You've only been gone for like, 6 months or 8 months or something like that, and you're ancient. And because he's like, look at me, I'm the same age. And he's like, well, I don't know how you slowed down your aging process. He's not believing him. So at the end, he's like, you're lying, and he zaps him with whatever is in his head there. He's like, I'm going to zap you, little people. And that's what he does. So he zaps him. All right, so let's move on to the continuation, because now we got the continuation. So, of course, they're not dead. Let me just tell you. I'll just clue you in ahead of time. The Fantastic Four was not zapped to death. So we get like a one-page recap, and the dome looks a little weird right there. It looks like a doorway rather than a dome. But anyway, they were zapped, and they're like, oh my God, you killed them. No. What did you do to the people? They're supposed to be our saviors. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to bed. Carry me away. They're gone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But, of course, at the last second, Sue turned them invisible. So, but I guess the woman there ends up knowing that they're there and says, follow me, I'll take you away. Sorry, you can't hear that. I just whispered it. So they ask her about She-Hulk, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, I remember the green woman, the green giant woman, the jolly green giant woman. And then we hear a story about her and how she rebelled or whatever. She was like, yeah, this is not right, but nobody listened to her. And she's kind of an important character towards the end as well. But anyway, now she's old, of course, because, again, time is sped up. In this dome. So she's like, I'll help you get inside to where She-Hulk is being kept. And Johnny drills underneath, and they go into the subterranean thing to find She-Hulk, and the other guy is alerted to that. So now they're underground looking for She-Hulk. And again, I'm wondering, how old is she going to be in this? Because she's been in there for a couple of weeks. So, she's probably a good, 10, 15 years older now or whatever it may be. But anyway, so a invisible hand ends up taking his, actually it's not even invisible. You can see the hand right there. Take the helmet off, and I guess it's Mr. Fantastic. And he's like, no, give me my helmet back. That was a gift from my mommy. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, he projects himself bigger, so it's almost like the Oz from Wizard of Oz, and he turns some kind of a fans on or whatever else, and then he's messing with them. So yeah, we have a new fight going on. Meanwhile, Wyatt and Johnny find where She-Hulk is, but this is pretty smart actually. So they have her in a stasis field, so she hasn't aged. So pretty smart. So she gets out, and I guess she's lifting him up because you find out later that she's actually way taller than he is. But I guess they have an entire group of people in stasis. So I guess they took people, and then I guess when they lower the dome, then they would revive them to have a government and etc. But anyway, so The fight continues, except now She-Hulk is part of that fight. And of course they win. Just say. So she rips open the doors. You know, She-Hulk is so cool, and it's unfortunate the TV show was so bad. And we find out that the woman that's been leading her around, well, I'll tell you that in a second. But anyway, so she mind melds both of them and sends his Reed's memories over to the guy so he could see that Reed was telling the truth and that everything outside is working differently than in the inside. But anyway, we find out that she is actually his daughter. And she's like, I love you, daughter. And they allow Mr. Fantastic to turn off the field to get out. And that's what's going on here. And the field goes down, and the army drives up with Tigra, and they get out, but then the dome disappears completely. The whole city just disappears. So they're like, what happened? Where is the city? What happened? Mr. Fantastic is like, well, let me tell you what happened. So I guess they went out of sync with regular timeline. They got moved to the future or something to that effect. And they're just gone. And that's the end of the story. And you can see the size difference between She-Hulk and Wyatt. And then Reed wonders about Ben and, you know, having him come back to the team, etc. Because that's pretty much the end of the She-Hulk line. So that's the end of that storyline. But remember that we're talking about nuclear Armageddon, nuclear winter, etc. with Russia and the United States. And now we went from 295 to not even 10 issues. And now we're going to be talking about a very, very similar plot by the same writer. So here I still do not understand why Johnny is with Alicia. Alicia Masters is blind, and she is currently married to the Thing, and they had a relationship forever. But here, Johnny's stooping her. So, man, she gets around. There's only 4 of them. Only 2 of them are single, and she's got a boat. I don't know. It's very strange. But anyway, they go into this area. She's supposed to go see her friend. And but anyway, there's been nuclear weapons that have been taken, but we don't know that quite yet. So anyway, the whole town is kind of on lockdown. It's like a military town, and Alicia's there to see her friend who's there in the scarf. And we switch. Oh, we haven't switched over yet. But anyway, so they're meeting with her friend, and she's like, oh yeah, everything's all messed up. What's going on? The military are all here, etc. Johnny's like, well, I can help, you know, if there's something wrong, etc. But they're like, no, you shouldn't get involved. So, but now we switch over to the Fantastic Four, and I guess Franklin saw Johnny and Alicia take off, and so they have an inkling about the fact that there's something wrong. And Ben's like, oh, yeah, that's really great. You're teaching your kid to be a Pete Batom. Great parenting. And thank God that Sue has her hair back here. She grew her hair back out again. Whew. That short hair thing from the 80s, man. So anyway, Johnny decides to meet with the general, and that's when he finds out that there's nuclear weapons that are missing. A guy just happens to walk in and say, we haven't found nuclear weapons. Oh, damn, you have somebody in your office. My bad, man. Give me 20, Sergeant. But anyway, when Torch lands, Alicia's friend knocks him out. Dun, dun, dun. What are you doing? So Alicia and Johnny show up in, I guess they're inside of kind of like a cell. And again, we have a thing called Project Survival, where we have an underground city because they're afraid of nuclear fallout from World War III. It's exactly the same storyline. So they don't want anybody telling anything that's going on, and they kind of want Alicia there. So Johnny's just kind of along for the ride, and they're having like a little, council meeting about what to do with them, etc. And that guy, the bald guy with the glasses, is like the leader, and he's and we find out that he's the one who actually stole the nuclear warheads. And he's like, what are you going to do with them? That's not what we agreed upon. And he's like, stick them up. It's my show now, and we're getting out of here now. We're going to launch now. When I say launch, that means that the nuclear weapons are there to actually propel this underground thing into space. So that's the plan. So Alicia's like, Johnny, I'm cold. And that's how his powers work. He actually removes the heat from the air to heat himself, and he has an inhibitor on him, and he destroys the inhibitor and gets out of their prison cell. Yay, go Johnny! He's free! Woohoo! I sound like Luigi there or whatever. Body on Luigi! So anyway, the guy says, we're launching now. We're not waiting. And meanwhile, Johnny's trying to stop the whole thing. And he does. He does stop it. And everybody's like, there's rumbling. And everybody's like running around crazy, etc. And the guy gets arrested. The bottom line is, he gets arrested. And Alicia's like, I can't believe it that this wasn't the vacation that we planned on. He's like, no shit. We ain't seeing any of your rest of your friends. That's for sure. Your friends are off limits from this point on. And even the woman comes and apologizes. We're sorry that we got you involved in this, etc. So he's like, and of course, the end thing is like, it's almost like a message, like even from today kind of thing. Do you really think it's possible to save the planet from nuclear destruction? It's got to be more than possible, Myrna. It's necessary. So I have an activist message here in this one, where I didn't really feel that the last one had like an activist message. But it's funny because, to tell you what, that never happened. Goes to show you, because I'm not really a global warming, activist or anything to that effect. I don't think that'll happen either. And just goes to show you that, here we have an activist writing comics, and it never happened, and it's 2024, and this is 1987 or something. 1980, it's probably 1986. Well, no, it's 10 issues, so it's probably 1987. And guess what? Never happened. So anyway, let's recap. So Johnny and the nuclear underground fallout shelter. And we have the domed fallout shelter. Two-parter. The first part was better than the second part, and that's the second story. And I think that's because John Byrne wrote it. I just think I don't think Roger Stern is that great. I want to see all the stuff that John Byrne wrote. But that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. None of these things are outdated, and that's what happens when you have this kind of political stories based on the time period. You can't ever propel this into the future because, yes, we have our problems with Russia right now and, of course, the Ukraine, but it's completely different problems. Like, we don't expect them to just fire missiles at us. That's over because they know that if they fire missiles at us, we fire a missile at them, then the world's over. So nobody, the self-assured destruction thing is over and done with. Nobody's going to do that. So I don't think that's a fear of anybody. I think there is a fear of war, but not nuclear war. It'll be drone warfare. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like when She-Hulk was part of the Fantastic Four? Do you think she should be part of the Fantastic Four again? We haven't really had a good Fantastic Four comic in a very, very, very long time. Even the little pieces of the movies that were good, the last Fantastic movie was junk, and now our casting for this one is screwed up. So I don't expect much out of this one with Disney. Marvel doing the Fantastic Four justice. The last good Fantastic Four movie was called The Incredibles. That's how I feel. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to give me a thumbs up, give me a like, the whole bit. And if you can subscribe, please do. Any kind of interaction definitely helps me grow the channel out. Remember that Lords of LA is on Fund My Comic. The description below has the link. Again, it is vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. We have plenty of vampire on vampire action, blood, sex, and fangs. It is more of an adult book. And if you can help out and jump in on any of that, we do have issue 1 and issue 2 available in that link. And also, if you're into card games, Mark Spears, who does cover art for Spider-Man and Vampirella, and Spawn and stuff to that effect. He did a whole thing of classic monster art, and we're doing a card game on that right now called Myth Lords, and I'll be launching that in May sometime, so watch out for that. We've been play testing it, and I'm waiting for my samples to come in, but I'll let you know when that launches. But in the meantime, also, at the end of this video, you'll see a couple of the videos pop up if you want to see anything else I've done as far as movies and comic books and TV show reviews and things to that effect. All right, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me.